Good evening. This is Mike Aguzin, and this is DiMaggio's Revisited. I think we've done this before. I think hopefully we get it right this time and we'll have some fun. I was told just a few minutes ago by Jeff at the Granada, whatever you do, don't be naked. And I said, you haven't seen me naked. And I want to thank Lloyd and Linda at the Granada for their good humor. Poetry tends to be serious. I'm not going to tell Lloyd's joke. I think that's a little discretion on my part. Plants and dreams. Quiet self, this is the world for a brief moment. This is near enough to downtown. The Blue Angels are to fly over soon, or at least this afternoon. I taking a day from work, not quite feeling my best. Better now. This brief oasis of camel's milk, drenching our faces and mouths with wet kisses, she enticing, inviting, I playfully advancing. My cornball humor continues like a Midwestern Canadian, like my stepdad stern, a cornfield, yes. The leaves dripping, the primordial forest of the hunter, the hunted, where the fittest prevail, the dogs absconded with the meat for their chops, where hearth and home give delight to a suffering world, to a Buddhist endeavoring for what enlightenment screams, while rain comes down on our machines, our gods, our plants, and dreams. I want to mention this is Ramadan period, and I wish those that are fasting a good fast. I'm very eclectic spiritually. I'm not really particularly religious, but spiritual, sort of go along with perennial philosophy. And I think that there's a place for the sacred and the profane. This is this is retro, and of course this is revisited. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Where have you gone? This is called Pedestrian Notes. Mostly by foot, I see, smell, hear, taste, and touch San Francisco. This afternoon I went down to Sutter to Dalton's Books and was especially interested in the Dalai Lama's new book, and read a book with Shakespeare quotes about the movie Shakespeare in Love. From there I went down to Market Street, heading down Sutter and up Market to Stacy's. At Stacy's, in a Valentine's gesture, a man asked me about a book. I politely suggested he take a look for himself. Sometimes it seems I get more come-ons from men than women in the city. But a woman standing in line at McDonald's made a flirting remark to me, and that felt very good indeed. I did receive a Valentine's card from my sister Carrie, and now, mostly by foot and on my way home, I stopped at Stacy's and almost bumped into this knockout redhead. Oh well. Sarah Menifee, who is a very fine poet, San Francisco poet, worked at Stacy's for some time. Stacy's is closed. It's really retro. Proposition 8, I'm so glad it was declared, or the court said it was unconstitutional. I really hope that continues to stay that way. And now I'd like to read my last poem. Before I do, I want to mention just a real brief story. Oh, by the way, my sister Carrie is a deadhead, so that's how we segue into this. Black Peter, the song by the Grateful Dead, was supposedly named after Peter Bailey, my brother-in-law in London. And the story goes, and I'm just retelling what he said, I believe I am, that he was in a derelict, abandoned home in Pacific Heights, and some of them were tripping on acid. In fact, an Asian American woman was tripping, and they were making love, and Dennis McNally and Robert Hunter were there, and this, as the story goes by Peter, Peter has a very dark side, and ironically he was a member of the Brotherhood of Light, Jerry Abrams, and that goes way back to late mid-60s, so forth. And Jerry Garcia was to come by the next day. Do kiss. My mind is almost blown when I think of family, my own poverty. The heart hungers to give its Cupid's arrow, its soul contents, its body wisdom. Heart claims this hour for certain, yet dream sees change and plenty of new family. Today I do love her from afar, not foul play, nor taboo, for blood is different, but marriage not. To imagine terra firma with you, you are blood thick and family strong, to touch you, to feel you, to be you, you to be me. Children play, happy and strong, and free to say and free to love. With sweet curvaceous lips we do softly kiss, when the ravages of time have not killed this spark, nor rhyme, nor passion's glory. I have a few people to acknowledge quickly. First, my sister Lily Arpino and her family. Robert Carlson, the librarian here at North Beach Public Library, which is part of Joe DiMaggio's playground and clubhouse. Also, Ram Das and his family. His brother lived here at the Granada, Leonard, and I've met one of his daughters, or a couple of his daughters, and Nicole Savage, who has a website, sfheart.com, that brings you up to date on North Beach happenings, literary and otherwise artistic, and Mark Swartz. Those people, and North Beach poets, painters, writers, artists, thank you. Now I wish to introduce Ronald Sauer, and I want to mention Rebecca, his lady, who's an artist and a poet. And Ronald, it's like, well, when I read Celine and when I read Baudelaire, I think of Ronald. Ronald translates Baudelaire, and it's somehow there's an intuitive feeling that we may have been friends in a past life in Paris in the 1880s. Here's Ronald Sauer. Here's Dino.